Alright, so let's set up that ambush. As Charlie actually asked.
Okay, let's go over the plan one more time. There's a dropship
Wow,
on
they
patrol
managed to
down by
make the
river,
dialogue work
a couple
without
miles
saying,
away.
as you know.
As soon as the drone sends out its signal,
Good
that
on
dropship
you
will come quick.
guys.
Now, if any Chimera survive the crash, they'll be
Also,
coming into the
camera,
city
I
from the top
get
of
it when
that
it's
bus.
raining, but
Concentrate
this
our
is getting a
fire
bit
there.
distracting.
Once the coast is clear,
Realism.
Ernie will climb over the
Never
barricade
really
with
have
the
been a
Get it for
fan
the,
of the whole
maybe
water
for the
on the
gameplay, but
camera.
then zip his way
no,
back
but more
across
like,
the
why
street.
did you have it for the
It's time to
cutscene?
move.
Again, to make you feel like you're part of the action, soldier.
Again, it works better for the gameplay, like in this case, I get it. It's just that during the cutscene it was more, you know, distracting. Anyway,
boy.
as Charlie said, we use that drone to alert the Chimeran. Essentially, we bait them. There you go.
Drone signals out. We got extra ammo and grenades upstairs in that building to our right, and inside Colby's on our left. Once the fighting starts, keep moving.
Anyway, I checked in the meantime that trophy that I was mentioning in the previous part. In English, it's called Calm Under Pressure, and it's specific for that situation, specifically defeating the brawler, that's the name of a gorilla enemy, in the post office under 2 minutes.
Ah, so I was
It's a bit small speed run.
So I guess I was onto something when I went with the Olympias state of mind thing.
Well, to be fair, like I said, in my country that term is used when it comes to, you know, a physical attribute, as in, you know, being in a state of mind, but when it's used for a physical, you know, attribute like tossing something.
Makes sense.
Jesus.
Boy,
Basically,
the
as
sounds.
Charlie said, what we need to recover is a power cell that will power up the VTOL, the flying vehicle, that Charlie tends to have. Okay, new gimmick. Drones that activate shield on the enemies. Not even the ogre can penetrate them, so you better take those out first. Essentially, one more nuisance. And I know what you're thinking. Gee, golly gee, maybe the game is gonna be super dickish and then you know, zigzag constantly in order to avoid your fire. Thankfully, no. They're tied to movement to the actual Chimera they're attached to. So, and the Chimera, once they spot you, they tend to stealth mostly still when it comes to firing against you. So when it comes to actually taking them out, the game actually throws a bit of a bone at you, you know, instead of the, because otherwise they could have been easily very dickish on the matter. So at the very least, the good on that. It's a way to spice up gameplay without making it too difficult. Anyway, let me use this time to check instead Sophie, specifically who Charlie is played by, because I'm a bit curious, and like I said, he's slightly important when it comes to the game. Let's see. I hope, like I said, it's credited, because information, like I said, on IMDb and Wikipedia tend to be relatively scarce, unfortunately, when it comes to this game. Well, this franchise as a whole, admittedly. Oh, wait, I forgot. Ali Hillis was also there in Resident Evil Revelations 2.
Ha! Yeah, she was. Man, Resident Evil has had its fair share of voice actors for multiple characters.
Yeah, although since Resi 7 they've gone down a more I wouldn't say path of unknowns, but more like lesser known actors from 7 on.
I will say.
They tried to stay consistent by almost rebooting the entire cast. And to be fair, like I said, up until that point, the cast has never been unfortunately, super consistent. Though I do admit, having Matt Mercer as Leon and Roger Craig Smith as Chris, those were particular roles that I wish they stuck on.
Yeah, like, I mean, they were consistent with those guys at least until 7, and, like, honestly, replacing Roger Craig Smith was just one of many baffling decisions they did with Chris Redfield in Resident Evil 7. did not like that designer take on Chris Redfield. Like, I'm glad that
To
they...
the point where people speculated he was an imposter, but no, he apparently wasn't.
Which, honestly, given what happens in 8, would have been a feasible theory. But no. Thankfully, in Resident Evil 8, they at least got his design somewhat back up to par for Resi 8. Still didn't bring back Roger,
they did technically
though.
a bit for the memes. They did reference to the fact that he punched the boulder in 5. Granted,
Yeah.
I don't know how Eisenberg got to know that information, but sure.
I guess, okay, given the retcon that apparently Spencer learned some of his stuff from the mother of that village, maybe she and her cohorts were keeping tabs on it. Like,
that's the thing. Again, when that thing, Chris punching a boulder, that happened in the volcano at the very end of 5.
Well, obviously that was part of the report.
Well, I can imagine the report just said Wesker dies, you know.
No, gotta know every detail. So Chris probably revealed to the press, and yes, while I was in pursuit of defeating Wesker, I did have to apply multiple hits to a rock of giant proportional size.
To get things more interesting, this time, instead of actually having an escort mission right from the get-go, you are the escortee carrying the core around, and Charlie is actually the one that actually is protecting you. So follow the instruction that he says. This have, as you can imagine, makes this sequence a bit more scripted, but they managed to make it real enough so at the very least it's a bit engaging.
Wow.
And again, the core is relatively unstable, so you're not allowed to dilly-dally that much. So stick around with him.
Must feel nice to not have to do the escorting for once.
Anyway, on the matter, I found in the meantime, and of course that. Oh fuck, we are Widowmaker to boot. Yep. The voice of Charlie sounded familiar because he's Crispin Freeman. Which has done a fuck ton of voice roles, so
yeah,
relatively known.
Yeah, now most recently he's been in the new Pokemon series.
Good for him.
Who is he, the captain?
I have to look it up. Horizon. He voices Professor Freed.
Ah, okay, sure.
Well, I felt. Well, he's there because that production is union, so first time that actually happened in the series, I believe.
This sequence also serves to highlight a bit the characterization of Charlie. The idea that again, he's supposed to be the leader of a group and he acts, decides and boisterous a bit. But he's not, despite the initial bit of a friction that he had with Capelli, he's still relatively reasonable, and he's just a guy that he's trying to do his job. So. Yeah, I'm trying.
Can you imagine if you woke up to this every day?
Make for one heck of an alarm clock.
In the universe, for a lot of Americans, it was their reality for 4 years.
True, yeah.
Again, they were supposed to actually adapt to this new environment and survive and try to not get busted by the Chimera.
For a second there, I misheard you and thought you said this is what Americans wake up to in real life or something.
I certainly hope not.
Yes.
What are you talking about? Jova wakes up next to a zombie all the time.
Well, for a lot of people, having giant monsters roam around would be a bit preferable to.
I can imagine this. Bit rude of a zombie to just climb into your bed without asking for permission.
So here's the new gimmick of Widowmaker: acid speed that makes the area corrosive.
Alien, got it.
Basically, well, it's not the blood; it's just the speed. This is perfect because the Widowmaker was chosen as a stage hazard for one of the stages in PlayStation Style Battle Royale. With this very gimmick, it just makes sense.
That was downright questionable for a second there.
Ah, I see. This is part of getting
You there?
Charlie here to trust us.
Yeah, it's part of the deal, like he
too,
said
pal.
also. The fact that you know, if
Yeah.
you know, Capelli does this for them, they will give
I
penicillin
think we can make it across the rooftops.
to Malikov and then escort them to New York. Although, like he said, I really wish Capelli would actually speak during the levels because it would help.
It's a shitty
Because I
world out
don't
there.
understand. Yeah, you have
Get
these
to thinking
stretches
too
where
much
the
about
characters
it.
are
Pull
talking to you and
yourself
Capelli
down.
doesn't respond.
Guys like
Like,
you
I
and me,
mean,
we
one of the
Like
improvements
he
in
turns into
We gotta show
Gordon
everyone
Freeman
outside
during the
the
gameplay session, and I
You know what I
don't
mean?
think it's appropriate.
like the thing is, in Resistance 2, Hale was allowed to speak even during the levels, so
Alright, switcheroo time. Now it's actually Charlie carrying
Load up on
the core, and now it's a
want you
proper
with the
escort
logo to
mission
watch
where you
your
have to
back.
defend him.
You are gonna watch my back, right, Joe?
Yes.
got no choice.
I was just checking if everything was alright.
I was wondering if that was supposed to be like footsteps overhead before something
No,
crashes
no.
down on us.
Grab some Molotovs, Joe.
Alright then. Which also means new enemy type. Sorry, new weapon type, sorry. So that's grenade type. Can I get it?
Game?
There you go. Laws of United. Oh, there it is.
What the heck
Mostly
happened?
because it's mostly because of the Laws of United explosive battlefield the kerosene. Once it makes contact with an enemy surface, the affected area will ignite. Remember, Jova, these weapons do have the mini tutorial with the video, so my guess is that it was actually loading it.
Probably.
Let me see if I recall correctly. I check. Alright, the big guy. A giant hybrid variant engineered to withstand heavy damage. This elite fighting unit lumbers towards its target while discharging crippling bolts of electricity from its primary weapon. This relentless pursuer will track down targets with terrifying efficiency. And again, they also had the shield like some of them did in Resistance 2. Yeah.
Makes sense.
The shield drones work in tandem with Chimera and may also summon additional Chimera to the battlefield. In battle, a shield drone will seek out an unprotected Chimera, then hover overhead and project an energy shield around the Chimera. Chimera protected by a shield drone will not take damage. Destroy the shield drone first. Okay, maybe wording it a bit better would have been better, but I get it. As for the Widowmaker, the Widowmaker is the largest known feral chimera. This one spider-like predator spits caustic acid at any targets it cannot stab with its razor-sharp tarsi. Usually found alone, some have reported seeing clans of Widowmakers stampeding throughout the wilderness.
Oh my, that's something we are probably going to have to deal with, given, we're trying to save
games,
you.
she got chunky.
Good. Try not to set yourself on fire, okay?
How about, there you go, Charlie. How about you shut your trap for a second and move?
Also, I'm escorting you. Shouldn't I be up front?
Don't know what to tell you.
No.
You clear a path. I'll follow.
Oh, so the game was waiting until that voice line to make the door mark
See that
mark
gondola
happen.
over toward that flag?
Okay.
That's our way out of here.
How have the Chimera not destroyed it yet?
They had other things to prioritize, like setting the sky alit with lightning.
They'll be coming after the power core. You've got to protect it.
Yes, I'm trying.
Duly noted.
I'll hold here until it's all clear.
This next section is a bit harder than the previous ones, admittedly, obviously because it's not scripted anymore, so of course you actually have to deal with the enemies more proper. It's not super impossible, but you still see a couple of jump cuts because, you have to avoid Charlie getting, too much damage. And again, compared to the previous games, the other NPCs do not have the Last of Us type of health. They can get damage, but like I said, it's really not it's not the most tedious escort mission I've seen in a video game. It's manageable. And like I said, the checkpoints also, are very generous in your favor this time around. So
Oh, that's nice. Not much range on that.
No, like I said, like you said, the cricket-like enemy, you know, these guys, the guys with the prosthetic legs, they are very annoying because they, despite being a bit lanky, they do get a lot of damage despite everything. And I don't know what kind of balancing they did. Charlie, let me clear the room before going out in the open. Jeez. There you go. So we still do take a lot of punishment, and even again, if you track them with the bullseye, like I suggested in part 2, they still leap around all the time, and you know, and since they also swarm you, that means that you have to care, you know, to look everywhere constantly because of this. Let's see. Oh, great! Also the shock drones.
Looks like they're all coming out of the woodwork.
To be fair, we did actually, you know, not to disturb the wasp nest in this case, but thanks to the drone, we did alert the drone presence. It's not that Charlie severely underestimated how many would come, because he was thinking just about the one dropship that will drop the core they could use. So... there you go. Yeah, you might have noticed also there's a bit of location-based damage also on other types of Chimera other than the hybrids. Again, while not super important, especially because you have so many different enemies that you have to care about, it still allows a small degree of strategy, like you want to shoot them maybe in the legs first or target the cooling system. So... at the very least, you can showcase that it's also, you know, better developed than the previous titles. Like I said, at its core, despite the flaws that it still has, this is the game that I prefer to still play over the other two, which has to count for something.
Guess that makes sense. I wonder if the Chimera ever get astounded that just 2 humans are holding off legions of them.
They, again, despite having the you know, the one mind kind of thing, they do not seem to possess a lot of rationality or, you know, or evil. They act very, you know, instinctually and animalistically. Again, the angels were the fuck, now I have to get up. The Angels were the one where basically the commanding units, and Daedalus was, you know, still had some degree of... don't worry, like I said, I will also showcase this in the access part. Daedalus seemed to have some degree of you know, conscience, despite the fact that, you know, the human part was gone, technically. But the regular Chimeras are just relatively dumb. Like you said, even more so than the Locust of Gears. Even those, they tend to have some degree of rationality, and, you know, they spoke very crude words, or they had some degree of more intelligence, like with General Ram, for example. But in this case, only the Angels seem to reach that kind of level. The other troops, despite specializing in different things, they tend to, you know, still, you know, act more as a mindless grunt. Which, again, at the end of the day, makes, you know, works better for everything. You know, they give you an enemy that you want to hate, while at the same time, you know, having an enemy that converts, you know, mankind. A bit similar to a zombie apocalypse, just in a different kind of flavor. Because remember, at the end of the day, the conversion that the Chimera does to humans is literally dehumanize them to the very molecular level and refit them for their idea of, you know, of life, which is just, you know, not very cool, man.
Yeah, at least ask permission first.
I doubt that would have happened. Remember, Joba,
Yeah.
one of them, the one of them that talk about the 2-year gap thing. Remember, that one had the President of the United States trying to strike a deal with Daedalus in order to leave the United States in peace. And I checked it back again. The canon thing that happened afterward is that Daedalus doesn't even bother considering the offer. He just leaves.
Now that's how it's done. You saved my skin, Joe. I won't forget that. promise. Things aren't going quite the way I planned. But you're familiar with that, aren't you, Joe? You seem like a guy who's used to things going from bad to worse.
Thanks, Charlie. Love you
Just had
too.
to say it.
God damn it!
Like, seriously, if I had $1
We had
for
to
every
get the
time
core.
one of our allies has jinxed it.
Dangerous!
Seriously, why didn't you have Capelli speak in these sections? I don't get it.
I don't get it either, honestly.
So, boss fight against the Widowmaker.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
An actual boss fight for once.
And to be fair, we will get another Widowmaker later, but it will still be treated as a boss fight, and this is not like a boss that becomes a regular book. So, again, another thing that this game tries to have a bit more boss fight than anything.
So they finally let us fight a giant enemy.
Correctly, the trophy that you get for this section is managing to kill the Widowmaker by collecting all of the sniper rifles in the arena. I know it's very specific and I don't know why.
Because achievements
Again,
gotta be kinda... I guess that's the idea of making it challenging.
Yeah, I guess it's better than just, complete chapter 1, complete chapter 2 and so on. Those are still present, but at least there's something that, provides something different. Which is understandable. As you can see, in true Zelda tradition, the weak points are very visible in the form of the red boils that you have to destroy, and it gets gruesome the more you actually destroy part of the Widowmaker. Again, you did fight Widowmakers in the first game, but they were not on this kind of level. They were still difficult, but they were still more manageable because they had to be treated like 8 books, but still books at the end of the day. This one also spawns leapers, so watch out. Thankfully, again, the one thing that the Widowmaker traded off was the bomb type of attack that had in the first game. So, the very first that. Also, I swear I heard the stock sound effect that they use for the Widowmaker cry, but I don't know where.
Interesting.
Again, using the bullseye for this situation helps a lot, as you can imagine, because of the tracker.
Yeah.
Whee! Sorry if I clipped through you. And yeah, the last weak point is the coldness of this thing. Thank God I just did it quickly.
No wonder that's an ultimate defeat.
Again, surprisingly not the eyes. I'm impressed.
Got a one-liner?
Holy shit!
Yeah, we managed to recover the core.
Would you look at that mess? Well, Joe, looks like you earned that trip to New York City.
Shoot, they cut right before Capelli could even respond to him.
At least Malikov is actually faring better.
And now we've got a bit of a team, I guess.
Again, they won't stick around that long. They will still be present in the game. Just don't think of them as proper companions throughout. But we'll see exactly what happens on the way to New York, because of course things won't be as easy in the next part. So see you for that.
See you then.
Yep.